Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and we have some cracking great news. The people have spoken, and the people have won. It's a major, humiliating U-turn, a failure by the SNP. One of their policies that they were so absolutely sure they wanted has been abandoned. There's been a massive U-turn. It's no longer going ahead, much to the immense annoyance not only of Swinney, but particularly of Angela Constance, who was desperate to make this happen. We are, of course, talking about juryless trials for sexual offences. After all, if you can get rid of the jury, then you can control the judge. If you can control the judge, you know the outcome of the decision, the outcome of the trial, well before the trial even happens. Wheel in the guilty bastard, let's send him to prison, could be heard at the beginning of a trial. Now, it didn't help that just about everyone was against it, and it certainly didn't help that the entire legal profession, every man, woman and child jack of them, had said no, they're going to boycott it. They will not represent any client at a juryless trial. And so they've had no option but to face the reality that the whole plan is as dead as a dodo and it's been pulled. So the pilot scheme that they were hoping to bring in has been abandoned. It's gone. It is no more. It has joined the choir invisible. And it was just never going to happen, which is just good. Now, the proposal would have seen juryless trials. So the principle would have been that a single judge would hear the evidence and decide. But you don't know about that single judge. Has he been got at? Has he been promised things? Has he been threatened by the authorities? He must hit a quota. Oh, you haven't done enough R's being put in prison this month. And so some innocent guy will have to be found guilty by the judge who wants to keep his job. Quite a bad decision, really. And take that on the abandonment of the not proven as well. And it was all going to be open to corruption, open to speculation of corruption, and just generally not trusted. And that's what happened. So she's had to come out, Angela Constance, and tell everyone that, okay, they got it wrong. They're abandoning the policy. They still like the policy, but they can't go ahead and they can't proceed. She said in her words, and I'll quote her words to you, I have already made my, this is talking about the thing, I've already made made clear my willingness to amend the provisions that enabled a time-limited pilot of these single judge trials. I recognise, however, that there's not enough cross-party support at this time for such a pilot, irrespective of the model. In the interest of building as much consensus as possible, I will no longer pursue this policy and bring forward relevant amendments to remove it from the bill. So, effectively, she's had to admit defeat. And it's not often, is it? It's not often they actually admit they got it wrong and that nobody is willing to support it. Certainly nobody politically. And even if everyone in Hollywood said, no, we're going to proceed with it, it would still die on its arse because not one single member of the legal profession would take a case in a juryless trial. And so what's the point of having it? You just have a backlog of people because they couldn't be tried. You can't be tried without defence. She did say, though, that she remains committed to exploring what she calls rape myths, which are dubious at best, because she's kind of saying that people are too stupid to understand the nuances. And I reject that. I think that's completely wrong. But she's trying to still save some face about bringing, how's the word? I'm trying to put it into context. They want to analyse jury decisions and deliberations. They want to monitor the deliberations of a jury. Now, again, this is another dodgy one. A jury should be free to do whatever it wants away from scrutiny. And if the authorities, if the establishment want to scrutinise what goes on in a jury room, then the next thing you know, they'll be punishing juries for saying things in a jury room or contemplating things or arriving at the wrong decision. Could a jury be held in contempt of court if it lets someone off when the authorities want that person convicted? For example, it's a small step. We're not there yet, but it's only a small step away if they start interfering in jury deliberations. So again, I think that's something that Angela Constance will be abandoning in the future as well. There's no way that would be allowed to go through. Again, everyone in the legal profession would resist that. Now, Scottish Bar Association, the body responsible for all the solicitors, not the KCs, that's a separate thing, but all the solicitors, they're the ones who initially said that they will not defend in a juryless trial. And then all the KCs went in. And then, in fact, all the judges went in as well. It's only one person, only one judge said they would, and she's Scotland's second highest judge, who's obviously desperate to be Scotland's highest judge. So she's kissing arse, bending the knee, licking the ring, and, doing everything she can. But anyway, the Scottish Bar Association, they've come out, they've been long critical with their boycott, and they've welcomed the dropping of this. They say it's an advancement of justice. They say to do anything else would be wrong, unjust, immoral, and probably, in their words, and I would suggest as well, against the Human Rights Act, because you would not be able to offer a free and fair and unbiased trial. You cannot have that if the person trying you is part of the establishment. And that is why 12 Good Men and True, and I know women, I'm not being sexist, but the saying 12 Good Men and True is still an excellent system. And I know it's 15 in Scotland, but they're reducing it to 12. Because it's a lottery. It's trial by your peers, not trial by the establishment. And that's one of the big problems that the establishment have got. It's still the only thing, I think, that protects people, is the fact that they're tried by people. The establishment will arrest you. The establishment charges you. The establishment gets you to court. The establishment presents its case. But it's people who decide your fate. And the establishment has no control over those people. Yet. So I think there's going to be a fight there. But we shall wait and see. Well, that's how it goes. So, yes, a win for the people, a win for the justice system, and an absolute bloody nose for Angela Constance. Well done. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.